It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke. I wanted to say it's stupid and let's move on, but then you kept going.
I'm Ben Glauser. I don't like any way anybody handled that.
A collusion. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
We got very little, but very important things to talk about.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals and all.
Yeah. I mean, some teams are in the finals. But that's not the rugby we're going to be talking about. That's just Jared's team that he coaches.
Yeah,
and helps start.
Yeah. Yeah, different story.
So good luck to Jared's. The Brookline girls in the state finals on Saturday.
Yeah,
that's going to be cool. I'm going to
get
my
fun.
ticket.
That'll be. I'm glad they get to experience that, because that's an experience. No matter the result, obviously, I hope they come out on the right side of it. But
right.
There's
one of them you enjoy forever. The other, it takes like 20 years and then you enjoy it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does take a little bit longer to look back and go, okay, it wasn't that bad, even though we end up on the wrong side. It's, getting to that point can be really special. You just got to realize it later on in life when you get a little more mature. That's all. Anyway, beverage time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where we've done all the coaching we can.
Yeah, exactly.
It's their turn. They can. It's just time to let them play. Find us on your favorite podcast app. Share, download, rate, review. Feedback always welcome.
Especially, no, sorry, too close, too soon. Sorry.
What'd you do?
Wait. I was going to talk about a 200th episode, but that's lower on the agenda.
Not there yet. Getting there. Of course, we want to make sure that our good friend George is taking care of him over the summer, and he has plenty of pocket change to have a few summer bevs with. So make sure that you are buying him a coffee or beer, however you wish to see it, on his Buy Me a Coffee site. Make sure he's taken care of. As always on this podcast, there is no discrimination here, nor should there be in sports or in life.
Nope.
And a similar issue that actually hit home about a month ago that you and I were talking about with one of the Brookline athletes in the winter sports has popped up again, which is, and in this way, it's just even worse in a lot of ways.
In Canada, of all places, too. That's the weird thing. Like, actually,
I thought they're supposed to like everyone.
When I saw this, it was like on Twitter or something like that. And there were Canadians in there saying, like, guys realize this happened in Canada. It's not always about the US.
No,
and people are replying like, wait, you're saying that people in the US wanted to believe it was an American thing, and you're trying to correct them, letting them know it was in Canada? Like, how silly are? And they were like, oh yeah, that was stupid. Like, poor. Not to make light of it, because it's this. It was in this, I think, small town somewhere, in kind of the Letterkenny area.
Right.
Say. This couple comes to a children's track meet and starts going off about, that girl's transgender. Look at her hair. She thinks she's a boy. Blah blah blah. She's clearly a boy. She's got and calling their parents groomers, and like they didn't have a kid at the event, but they came just to start shit like that. And this is the problem I've had. So I'm on the CRAA board for women's Division 2 and 3 rugby in the collegiate level.
Yep.
And they were talking about that at one point, like, what do we do about transgender thing? And a bunch of us were like, let them play. And like, play. Yeah, once they go through the full, once they're fully good, then let them play. And then, the people are like, well, I do kind of find that idea compelling about that, they're going to be naturally strong, blah, blah, blah. The problem is, and they're like, oh, they, maybe they have a point there. And it's like, they don't have a point. There's always going to be people genetically stronger. Like, look, you and I played with and against Tony. Like, Purpura.
Genetically stronger is an understatement.
Right. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I have to deal with that. That's not, but nobody cares. It's the same kind of thing. Like, yeah, and it's just, you
Well,
give again,
look
you
at
give,
one of my kids from
yeah,
the girls team.
right.
She's a bull. She is knocking over everyone. She is knocking over people for fun.
Mm-hmm.
She's stronger. She's not transgender. So what the hell's the difference,
Yeah,
honestly, other than the fact that you just want to be a bigot? You
right.
know? So doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, and just to go out of your way to do that shit, I'm sorry.
Exactly. But that's what you're in, like,
that's the shitty people in the world right there.
right. And look, as a person of Jewish heritage, I'm a little bit sensitive to the idea when people say, "Oh, well, we still need to solve the transgender question," because you know what I was taught growing up everywhere was about, the big thing in Germany was, well, what about the Jewish question? And it's like, what's the question? And ultimately, the question is, should these people be allowed to exist? That's what it means. So when you hear,
That's
oh,
yeah.
what's the question? Like, they hear about that Palestine. How do we solve the Palestinian problem? Well, I know where you're going with that too. Like,
Right.
you're like, that's why we do the no discrimination here thing bit, because it's important, and we all need to stand up to it. And I know, we do with our teams when we can. And so please, with your teams, whether it's family team, your team, your club team, work team, whatever, let's work to end this shit, because again, this is what gets people killed, and nobody really, well, good people don't want that. Let's put it that way.
No. Yeah. No, we don't need that. Life's too
No.
damn short already.
Right. Exactly.
Brighter notes. Episode 200.
There it
We are
is.
getting to the latter half of the month, so that's coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I will get a post out for you, everybody, to comment and ask questions on. Had my head up firmly up my ass this week, but for good reason. For good reason. But yeah,
Right.
it was, my head's been like as far away from doing shit like that as possible, because I've been so focused on this week and the weekend at hand. But I will try and do something tomorrow while I've got a few minutes at work.
And if you listen to last week's episode, that should not be a surprise, because we were both just like, yeah. Anyway, what I'm saying is, sorry for last week, but we both kind of had our heads up our asses too. So
that's all right. We'll get there.
Yep.
Anyway,
can't be a champion every day.
Eps coming. Eps 200's coming soon.
Woo.
Okay, we have very little to talk about in many ways, but very much at the same time. Let's start with Auckland. Go to the Blues and Waratahs, and again, just same story, different week for the Waratahs. Just loads of disappointment.
Yeah, good start.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They scored right off the bat, but you got to back it up, and
always.
They kind of, not even that was somewhat accidental. So it's like it doesn't really.
I mean, Ned Hannigan scored it. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a shame. They I felt like last week was really it for them anyway. Like, Hooper scored at the end of the match. That seemed like a fitting way for that to end. And that this was just like an extra game they played afterwards for fun or something. Because they didn't have it last week either. It was all poop last week. So it's like, almost they had no business in this playoffs, honestly. I sad to say, because they weren't the only ones who played like that, but they haven't really played well all year.
No, they've
kind of
they've taken advantage of teams that were weak, and then they've really just kind of spit the bit against the better teams for the most part. Yeah. So shocker they. Mark Tully is good. Just in.
Who? He must be new.
Yeah. Yeah, rather good. That is
quite good.
That is definitely the Blues' best back row, number one. And really, it could be, though I don't think it's going to be, because you need to find room for Artie. It could be the All Black starting back row, and you wouldn't be able to really sneeze at it. So that's kind of scary.
Right.
Freaking yeah.
Yeah.
Akira, Satutu, and
Oh,
Papali. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, like, you can't argue with it.
No.
I mean, there's other options, but
Right.
yeah.
Um, a player that has kind of gone on the radar because he's mostly playing second row, but he's actually getting better as he's gone on was Suafo. I thought he looked really good this weekend as well. Um, just turning in good performance after good performance, and now he's starting to let the shackles off a little bit, which is good. Only helps the player after that or
Well, yeah,
after a while.
because the Blues, I mean, because they I shouldn't, they're good. They're still missing a cog to when they were like. There's a reason that they were in what, fourth place here or whatever this was.
I think third, yeah.
Third. And it's because they didn't have that same spark that they had before. And I think Tui Palatu was a big part of that, and getting a good shift in all across the pitches, but especially in attack, really opened it up for the rest of them. And then there's and he could also take advantage of that. And he hasn't quite been the same since his injuries.
Right.
So they need that. And if Suafoa can bring that consistently, that they'll need that. Well, fuck, I don't want to see that right now. Not this year. Next year.
Wow. Not your problem this week, so it's okay.
True. That's true.
Yeah, and Parafetta being missing has not helped either. I know he's started to come off the bench recently, but been missing for quite a large chunk of the season.
Yeah. So like they're still scary. Fuck. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've guys everywhere. They're threats, except again, their front row has been not nearly as productive as it was last year.
Right.
So that's really it. Their tight five is
I think Olala and Tuangafasi both had stints on the sideline too, which was not helpful.
If
I remember right. So that is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good team still. You certainly can't sleep on them by any means whatsoever.
Ooh, no.
So they're gonna be scary. They still have Rico Ioane as well, which is helpful. No Caleb Clark is kind of the big worry for me if I'm a Blues fan. I don't know if they've released a lineup yet, but
I'm worried about Caleb Clark, to be perfectly blunt. As a rugby fan, I'm worried. Like, I'm not even a Blues fan. And what's going on there?
I don't know. Is he falling out of love with it a little bit?
Yeah, like he was on pace to be him. And no, it's not happening. Like, that Talea is I was expecting a Talea-like performance out of Clark. Like, I was expecting it to be Talea and Clark doing Talea things, not like one taking away from the other. It just seems like Talea has been amazing, and Clark has been kind of, hey, I'm here too.
He is back. Laps up. He is back.
Okay. Well, that's good. Back. I just need him to be better.
I know. We need him to be who he was.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about him. That's why I'm worried about him. It's not so much the, is he playing or not? Is he playing or not?
No. Right. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. And then let's jump to Saturday. Your guys had a bit of a scare, but whatever it is about this Reds team just seems to confound you sometimes.
They fucked right up. They had their heads up there. Like, that was the tightest I've seen them all year. It was absolutely nervous because of what happened last time, and which is weird because that was like kind of a Shags lineup that they threw at them. So they shouldn't be terribly unconfident, but they sure played like it. Like, Mackenzie played that like it was a British test match. Like, he was like the calling for points so much. Like, again, dance with the girl what brung you. Like, the Chiefs sure tries. Like, they just decided to play tight, and that's like you're doing what the Reds want you to do.
Absolutely.
Like, call for a scrum. Your scrum's been fine. Yeah, you're right in front of the post. Yeah, and you know who I want to take? I want to take pretty much any of my back three against any of their back three. Like, totally. Or even our centers. Like, matched up one-on-one against their other guys. Fuck yeah, I'm taking us every
ALB
time.
against Duganu. That would have been That would have
Uh-huh.
been lick your lips good,
Mhm.
you know.
Yes, please. And the kick for points, like after, 3 times. The third time I was like, could you just fucking stop? And then, but he did it like 5 times. Like, how are you gonna? The Reds outscored him try wise. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not. Ugh. I'm just. It's just like one of those. I'm as angry as I could be at my. I'm as like disgusted as I can be in my team possible, except for one other person I know who like should feel the same way, except his team lost. And it's like that's the only difference. Is it's like this was a gross performance and good. Flush it, put it away. Let's play some real rugby next week.
Yeah. For the Reds, I thought number one, I thought they might pull it off. Number two,
Yeah, you're not alone.
right, and I'm sure there were a lot of people that had went and tightened right up on their backsides just a tiny bit. I thought Tate McDermott played one of his best matches in a red shirt this year, bar none. And there's all this talk of like Carvalho playing for. I don't think you need to go digging that deep. It shouldn't be Nick White. It should be Tate McDermott. And I know they're gonna. I know because Eddie's Eddie. He's gonna do what he wants, and he's gonna probably pick Nick White to start this. To start, most of the important game matches at the World Cup.
Yep. Yes.
I think Tate
That'll
McDermott
happen.
is the better player, hands down. And I don't know. I don't know what Australia can do with Nick White at 9 as opposed to Tate McDermott. I think they can definitely shock some people that he gives them another option to and it's not the taking off either. That's the thing that I want to just make clear. Like, okay, he can snipe and scoot. I get it. Like a lot of those halfbacks that can do that also can't do another thing. He does run those support lines like an Alex Mitchell does. He does give good service. He has the kicks. He's got the whole kit and caboodle. I don't know why you wouldn't want to. The only other person that I would sub him for is Jake Gordon, and Jake Gordon's hurt right now. So I'm sure he should be in. Both of them should be in the team. I think
so.
The two of them give them a better shot than Nick White does.
Here's a take for you for the back to the match. If
Digress.
Wright is in at 6 rather than Uru, who wins this game?
It's certainly a 1-score game and not a 2-score game.
Yeah.
And then it's, that's
I gotta say,
at that point.
And I say that because Uru was useless.
He wasn't good. He wasn't good. Like, people are touting him as like being this great. I don't see it.
I'll put my hand up. I thought he was going to be better than this. I thought
I don't see it at all.
Much better last year, and no, my hand's back down.
Yeah, I don't see it. I haven't seen it yet, honestly, and nor do I think I'm going to at this point.
Yeah.
So it
was though. I will say that once Josh Ioane came on at the 61st minute,
I saw that too. I was like, here comes the fun.
I was like, okay, no, now and what was the score at the time? Did because it was right after the Vunivalu try. Because that was it for me. I was like, fuck this shit. This is bullshit.
Yep.
They may have been winning. The Reds may have been winning at that point.
I think the Reds were winning. If not, they were damn close to be losing. But
because then McKenzie hit another one at 70 minutes, and then who scored?
Is that the Peter Gus try?
The Peter Gus try, yeah, there it is.
Yep.
And he scored to put it away. So yeah, they were losing, and Weber came, and when I'm sorry, Ioane came on, I was like, okay, no, they're gonna win this. That for like that was my confidence builder because they needed to move McKenzie out of that shit, and yeah, and Satura was kind of playing all right. But I think I was like, if anybody I was going to pull anybody from that back line, it was him because Narawa was having a day at that point, and
got me.
Kane is still not useful. I don't know how he can be on the All Black squad.
He's going to be because I don't think Fozzie does.
You can't go into it with your captain because he can't play. He can't be in that starting lineup. He's not even as good as anyone on the bench. Like unless you just say, okay, well, you're our program captain, and then we have a game day captain or something, like, do some.
That's usually what I would do in
like
that case. Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely what I would do in that case. 100%. Let's go to Christchurch. And
Price.
yeah, indeed.
Just,
they needed him, the Druid did, or something.
They needed something. This was they like the things they did in the first 20 minutes of that game to just give the game to, like, they just let Crusaders do
less,
whatever
yeah.
they wanted.
Yep.
And it was like they barely put up a fight in the first 20 minutes. Like, and I'm that's not to say there was no effort, but like whatever they needed to do at any given time, whatever they absolutely had to do at any given time, the baseline, they just didn't do.
Nope.
Like, okay, you need to just win your own scrum. Nope, penalty or something.
Nope.
Something stupid like that.
Gave it away.
Like,
didn't Lomani knock it at the back on one of them?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And just little and then it was going to be a great play off of it too. And they wasn't it a try that they called back or something? Or I'm thinking of a different match.
No, I think you're thinking
no, that was the Free Jacks match. We'll get to that. But yeah, just not good. Like that's like that. That's not. That's like first or second week of the season. That's not playoffs. You got to up your game, and it's a learning experience for them. It's good in the end to realize, oh, this is not the same thing. Like, we can't just kind of glide into this and be loosey goosey. There's a professionalism that you have to, and that's what I'm saying is, like, you have to know what to do in the right in this, for the circumstances, and what you cannot let the other team do, because man, it was. Whew. Yeah. It was like, oh yeah, they're gonna, like, I could see the play coming. I was like, oh, the Crusaders are hitting this man, and that would be the one guy that they didn't mark on the defense, that they just kind of let him go. And it's like, oh my gosh, like,
what were you doing?
Like, they're going this way, and you're just seeing like, nah, we don't need to cover him. Yeah, you do.
No. Yeah. I would advise that you do that, especially when fellas like Will Jordan are walking around out there, and Cody Taylor seemed to just do whatever what he wanted to do, and really their score came from nothing. Rutamanda just got an intercept and that he read, and it was a poor decision. I think it was you remember who it was. Quentin Strange was way too wide. I don't remember who the hell threw the pass. It wasn't a good decision anyway. Might have been Anwar McLeod, one of them. I don't remember which one, but it doesn't matter. Burke, whoever. Still bad decision. Bad decision all over, and they paid for it. There's no other way to describe it, and it was great to see the Druid here. I will say that. It really was. I think a lot of. I think let's not lose that. Let's not lose sight of that. Right. It was great to have them here. It's great to see another team that can compete and keep a team like. Let's be honest, like a team like the Highlanders or the Force didn't deserve to be in this quarterfinal. Had they be in, I don't see them doing any better.
Oh, honestly. No, not at all. Not at all.
And that's with some of those players having plenty of experience in this situation, as opposed to
look at the Waratahs, right? Same kind of thing.
Right.
Like, it's not, you can't, let's say that they did much better anyway. So there's what, 6 teams in this competition that are fucking serious, and 6 that are not up to snuff. That's actually pretty good, actually. Any of those, any of the 6 that are not Waratahs or Druid that are in these playoffs had a puncher's chance at this.
Right.
Reds.
Absolutely.
They're kind of they're the to me the bottom of that 6, and for good reason. But I mean, shit, they almost took out the Chiefs. So what do you say? Like,
to their credit, they definitely were going in the wrong direction. The Reds were as well. Obviously we're getting back onto them now.
Yeah.
But it is a good testament to their character of being able to just kind of right the ship just for a little bit and get into the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Wasn't pretty, but they got there. And is Brad Thorne probably gonna, just look back on the season and be pissed? I think he's done now, as far as I remember. So it doesn't, of course he's going to, but at least they were able to respond.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the Rebels obviously didn't respond. Taz started hot, but then just pittered out, and my guys kind of did too. We'll get to them in a second. But Reds at least kind of showed some character and showed up. So I can give them a little bit of credit, and at least they didn't completely lay down for Brett Thorne, even though they didn't start off that year this season at all very well. Just not great, not great at all.
Right.
All right. Damn it!
Speaking of not great at all.
Damn it! Let me just say, I don't hold anything against anybody else in this match except the Hurricanes long term, because I look back and there were matches that we let get away from us. There was the Blues match at home that we let get away from us. There was even the match against you that we let get away from us at home. The match against the Druid on the road, they only lost once on the road. I know, but we could have played so much better in that match, and we didn't. We played like absolute dog shit. And there are just little things here and there that could have put us in a better position to at least flip where this match was played. And I think that would have made the difference in the end. Home cooking as opposed to having to go across the water there to play against a team on their patch can make a difference when the scoreline's only 4 points. So all that said, did they play well? It took them a little bit. I know Kenny Naholo scored quick, but man, after that, it was the better part of that half that until they finally kind of got rattled again. I was just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, it just there were some decisions to go for goal. I was like, no, let's keep ball in hand and hang out down here, because the biggest thing you need to do when you're on the road is just take the air out of the whole thing a little bit and quiet the crowd a little bit. And you do that by hanging on to the ball and not, and not kicking for points. Right. And even there were moments where we kicked for points and we still fucking missed it. So that was not helpful.
That too. Not helpful at all.
So I was overall a little disappointed with our decision making, bar the end. Yeah.
Right.
And so, go ahead.
So Jared hasn't heard my full take on this, which is, especially they're on the ending anyway. Like, first off, I expected this to be a close game, right? This didn't surprise me. Of
course.
I did think that when Devin Flanders scored that try, that it was over. I was like, that was awesome. That was just an amazing try. I don't know that Brumbies really are coming back from that. And they did. To their credit, they did. I was unbelievably impressed with how they fought back. But here's the thing. In the end, if someone came to you beginning of the season and said, okay, your playoff run is going to hinge on Artie Sevilla in a one-on-one tackle situation on the goal line with ball in hand, how you feeling about that? And I don't mean to speak for you, but if I were you, I'd feel pretty okay. Good. Yes.
Give it to me.
I'll take. Yep. That I will take.
Give it to me. Absolutely.
And I feel like that this was kind of always coming to that, which is kind of like, when Flanders scored, I thought that was, oh wow, it's not even going to take another Artie try. Like,
you already had one.
That's kind of where it was. He already had one, but he wasn't settled on that, certainly at any point in the match.
Would he ever be though? That's not Artie how Artie rolls.
No, exactly. But here's the thing, and I don't know if it's the rule or just the way they're enforcing it, but you're in the 85th minute if I'm a referee, I am not fucking stopping playing for that.
Right.
And then having to end the game. Because Artie could have played it backwards too. If, like, there wasn't like fully down, like he could have, brought it back over and replayed it. Like, I think that should be how, like, you try for it once, but if, just like in a tackle contest, if like you're being tackled, okay, place it back and we'll go from there. Because I thought he did. I thought they were able to play it anyway, but he blew the whistle up and just stopped it. And
Yeah,
I'm like, it's 80, like that's it. You're hinging everything on that, and you don't know what you saw.
no, and that's the
That to me is the worst
I
part. Like you
agreed.
can't just like that kills it for like the team that you're fucking like you're basically rewarding the Brumbies because they may have done something good that you don't know if they did or not, but they're on
And they
defense
still
and you're
don't
going to
know,
reward
honestly.
them. Right. The I I don't know how Artie didn't score that. I saw, yeah, I saw a hand underneath it, but I also saw plenty of times when there could have not been a hand underneath it, and but we couldn't see. And by him going to the TMO with the that's no try, but please overturn me if you see it. Oh well, fuck. Now that's it. Like that's game.
Yep.
And I like there's better ways to what I'm saying is no matter what, there's much better ways to manage that situation. And referees, we've talked about them recently enough. Like it's just and maybe it came on the heels of remember that because it was the anniversary of the umpire who blew that perfect game for the Detroit pitcher
Yep,
because
I
he
remember
called
that.
a clearly out player safe.
Safe. Yep, I remember that.
And he was basically out of the league
Galarraga.
in like a year. Yes,
I
Gallagher
remember
had a
that.
perfect game going,
I remember him. Yeah.
and it just Jim Joyce. That was him.
Yes. Oh
That's
god,
how bad
he
I
was bad though. To
remember.
be honest, like we all, know, I'm
He
pretty sure
was
he was pretty bad.
um
I remember right.
right, and it just reminded me of something like that. Like you just have some situational awareness a little bit.
Right, and I
Even though the guy was out, but still have some situational awareness. Like you got to just
right.
butcher the call. But in this case, I don't know that Barry was right or wrong as far as whether or not he called it held up right away. I
Yeah,
also thought it was really quick on it. Like you give him
yeah.
a little bit of a
The
fight.
speed
Like
on it
don't
was
just
probably the
was
most annoying
immediate.
thing,
Yeah,
and
I didn't.
it needs to be a thing under World Rugby's instruction or that they give to the instruction to referees. Let's not like we have to find a way to not end a game on a held up.
Right.
Honestly, like it is one of the
Yes.
most annoying ways to end a game. Like the attacking team is still attacking.
Right.
Can we have the dropout?
Yeah.
Like I
Exactly.
thought that was part of the point of having the dropout was supposed to be let's continue to make this game,
Play because
play.
at
Let's
that point
make
it's not a
this a
yeah it's
thing.
not a yeah I yes exactly that's I would definitely agree with that. Like same thing how King doesn't end on a penalty. Same
Right.
exact should be the same exact circumstances. The game is still going. Like there could have been a more opportunity to play potentially, and he just you cut that off.
Right. If it and let's just establish the difference. If they kicked it dead for whatever reason, Artie wouldn't kick it, but
Mhm.
you know what I mean. If
Yeah.
the Hurricanes were to kick it dead and it would roll into touch, totally legitimate, blow the whistle, game over.
Right.
Okay. I'm not
Right.
looking for it to not end on a dropout situation. I'm looking for it to not end on a held up. That being the
Yeah.
difference.
Yes. Yeah.
But in
So
the end, they had 4 tries, we had 3. So really it's back to kind of your thing with DMAC. Like, can we not kick for points so fucking much? And Brett Cameron's boot was on, no doubt, but we attack. One of the most beautiful things about the Hurricanes that I've loved for a long time is they fucking attack. And to just kind of go, we're gonna do, we're gonna kick for goal. Huh? What? Why?
yeah.
Why? Why? With Billy Proctor, who's been playing out of skin, Jody Barrett, Kenny Naholo's obviously come good. Artie Dewey played really well when he came on. Booth was in, but still Roy Guard in some situations. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. My dog is freaking out, by the way, because of this thunder all
Because of
over
the
us
storm.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He is not happy. Poor fella. He hates this shit. But just with all that, like I say it, and I know you do too. I say it to my players: back yourself, back yourself. And those players, and this isn't like an old thing that like Alex Ferguson used to subscribe to. Fortune favors the bold. Not always,
Right.
but more often than not.
Yep.
And when you're away from home, you're still away from home. Are you the better team? Absolutely. But you're still away from home. So back yourself. let's go scrum, let's go tap and go, let's go corner, and get this fucking thing over the line instead of, a few threes here and there. Because that's just, no. And if this is a 5-4 game with the tries and somehow we still lose, all right, well, I can be pissed about that later. But yeah, pretty annoying.
Yeah.
So I was fairly annoyed.
I don't blame you. You have every right to be annoyed. Yeah, I would be too. What do you think I was feeling at the end? I was like, Jared's gonna be sad.
Yeah. Just like
you should be. It's like
we did it to ourselves in the end. I was pissed at
right.
Yes, I was pissed at Barry. I didn't think he had a great game, but still, I was pissed at ourselves. The even the little moment where a player like Jody Barrett's quality lost it on the advantage that was coming up.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, dude, 9 times out of 10, he slips that and he's in.
Yep.
Just those little frustration things where it's like, oh, dude, so many little inch things that we could have got right and got better and won this fucking thing, and we didn't. And now Jason Holland's gone. He's going to become part of the All Blacks team. So I don't know who they're planning on having him take over. I would back either Corey Jane or Blyandal to do it. I think Corey Jane's probably the more experienced of the two. They may go looking outside of the organization, but I would back Corey Jane to do it. I liked CJ when he played, so I'd back him to do it here. But yeah, I love the squad, and they're obviously going to have some guys that break up and leave, and that's just how it is. Colsey calling it a day after the World Cup, but man, we have Amua, Amua, and then they have some decent talent. I don't know if we're going to be able to hang on to Faiva because I know he wants to move back to Europe so we can keep playing for Italy if picked. If he's not picked for the World Cup, then we might be able to hang on to him. But if he's picked for the World Cup, then he's probably going to look to move back to Europe somewhere. So, yeah, disappointing, bitterly disappointing, but disappointing just the same. I'm in the end, I'm really annoyed that we get to the same exact fucking spot and we lose again. And that to me is just right. It's no progress. It's no progress. I thought we were making progress at the start of this year, and in the end, we really didn't make any. Did we develop some new young talent? Yes, we did. Godfrey, Seekinson, Aiden Morgan, Yosei got more playing time. I like Caleb. I liked what I saw Caleb Delaney this week. He looks great. Amua is obviously very good. Kenny Nahalo has come out of the woodwork to be good. Morby's come good. Lots of good in terms of that, but man, just overall, not quite. Hopefully we can hang on to Billy Proctor. I don't want him going anywhere. That's one guy I'd like to hang on to for a long, long time.
Right.
Matt can stay in the Premier League, in the Premiership. That's all good. But but I like Billy. He's a little faster than his brother.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and put it this way, just a few years ago, it didn't look like Chiefs were going to do this. So you already have a lot of stuff, a lot of good shit there. So
right.
And it's not like you had bad coaching, and it's not like you had a bad tactics. It's just it didn't quite click. There's all
Another year with Roy Gard, who's obviously also another one that's come out of it. Not sure we'll see TJ in a yellow uniform ever again.
Yeah,
if we do great, but I don't think we will.
Right, and I do rate, as I've said pretty consistently this year, I rate the Canes at about the level of the Blues, and to me, the Blues are kind of in a level trajectory. I think the Canes have really picked it up, so I'd be optimistic. I don't know what to think of the Chiefs year to year at this point, really, because it worked this year. I don't hope they can maintain the consistency with it.
Yeah, well, they're gonna lose Weber, which sucks,
right?
But Ratima is actually very good. So it's not a huge drop off as big as you would think. Brad Weber is absolutely amazing. But it's not as big a drop off as it maybe once thought to be, so not that big a deal. Um, yeah, yeah, it's and Brett Cameron came good this year, which was great. I hope we hang on to him. That'll be great. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Artie is, as loyal comes, so I think he's around for a little while longer. But unless is he one of the contingent that jumped ship to Japan for a couple of years? He might have. Can't remember off the top of my head. I should remember that stuff.
We're all I'm pretty bleh at this point, so
yeah,
I'm just kind of enjoying the rugby while I can. I'm burnt out with who's doing what, who's going where, especially after the Irish.
I'll yeah, I know. Well, some guys have already been re-signed. Like Munga got signed, and then what's his name?
TFRY. Oliver Hoskins. Oliver Hoskins is putting out like a little, personal story about it. He tweeted out some stuff. So
I haven't seen it. I'll have to go look. Anyway, more happier notes. Let's go to happier notes because I'm now officially annoyed. Free Jacks.
Woo.
I'm not gonna claim that I know the knowledge of the Seattle team to tell you whether or not that was their first team or if that was like kind of what we did, same. But
yeah, exactly.
Still, to go to Seattle and get more than one a win beyond one score,
yeah,
not too bad. Not too bad at all.
They played really well, the Free Jacks,
right?
And it was a typical Free Jacks performance too, where they put pressure, and sometimes they fucked up, but pretty much their whole thing is just to again put pressure on the other team, and eventually they do something stupid. Bodine Waka had in the first the first 10 minutes or whatever, had a sequence where he dropped 2 easy intercepts,
yeah,
like on the same sequence. Like the first one gave the this Seattle the scrum advantage. It was clearly not an intentional knock. It was a shitty pass that just hung, and he went to catch it and just botched it because it was like you really just threw this right to me. Like it was one of those. And then the second one, kind of the same thing, and so yeah, it just ended up being a scrum. But it's like this was Seattle did not handle the Free Jacks pressure very well.
No, not at all. And that speaks volumes about their defense and the way they've been playing. I mean, if you look at the lineup going, like that would be a first choice front row for me for the most part. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Second row and back row, definitely not. I love those guys, no doubt about it.
They played well though. Who was the 8? Who I'm sorry, the Davidovitz.
Oh,
Davidovitz
was in the team of the week. He was awesome.
He was amazing.
Awesome. Yeah,
he was how much fantastic. Have we seen him play this year?
The little bits that we've seen of him, he's been brilliant. I will say that. Yeah. I think, was it the Chicago match? He was awesome. I remember that. I think it was the Chicago match here. That was really good. The halfback combination, absolutely top choice, and then as well as the back three. Midfielder, probably a B-ish look to it with Spencer Jones and Vanderbank, who Vanderbank is like the forgotten man. Like, he was brilliant for us last year, and now he's, Lesage has come in, and obviously LaRue Milan's still very good. So it's just kind of become this. Unfortunately, he's just kind of become the back burner type of guy. That sucks. And then and then the bench is mostly meh. DeWitt's usually a good choice. Hildebrand, yes, but like Connor Young, meh. Peretti, good choice. Ethan Fryer, definitely a development player. Olsen, same. Mitch Jacobson is there kind of as a break glass in case of emergency type of thing for the forwards.
Right.
I mean, I know Fryer scored, but that was a different story for a different day. But point being, it was probably a little bit of a B team in many regards, but still some important A choice spots like Quattrin, like Poland, like Petraz. So I'll leave it at that.
For those who have ever been on an organized team that has like depth, real actual like depth. When there's the captains, and I said this when I was a captain too, and sometimes it was true, sometimes it was bullshit. Like, you have to thank the backups, the guys who run the scout team and shit like that, because their being good makes the starters good. And if you don't think there's competition in that back row, holy shit. Like we're talking about officially, like he's that good, and yet can't really get a sniff because there's even more talented players in front of him.
Well,
But
Joe Johnson used to be a first name on the team sheet type of person
right,
too.
right.
Not anymore.
Not anymore because there's just that much competition.
Right.
This is after Justin Johnson left. Like we missed him, but I mean, I don't really miss him so much anymore. I still miss him, but like, damn, they got contributors. They got guys to replace him.
I saw him last month. He has gotten a little chubby.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Boyo's eating now. He's eating now.
But yeah, like they're just that good that it helps make that top team. And I love this Free Jacks team and what they're going to do. Not just in the playoffs, not this year, but overall, like it's a good product and it's getting more press in the Boston area, especially now that the Red Sox are still kind of poop.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, do you want to spend a couple of hours down in the city or do you want to come down to Quincy and, watch
some live sports? And it's such a great event. And I'm sad I'm going to miss it because I got a thing for the family on Sunday, but I know you and Jess will have a blast. So, but it's always so much fun. I'm looking forward to the match on the 8th. That's going to, or the 7th, whatever, the 1st. That's the one. Words, days, numbers, all mixed up. But it's just such a fun event. And, you and I have both brought people that are not rugby people outside of the community into it. And they're just like, this is so much fun.
Right.
And so I want to applaud, because I don't know. I know that there are a lot of teams that do a good job, and there are teams that do a terrible job of this. So I do want to applaud the folks at the front office, Mags, all the way down to the people that probably don't even get their freaking name on the website, for doing a great job with setting it up and to make it a thing that people want to go to for quite a long time. And now we got other events coming in with the US under 23s coming in soon. For the women, which will be end of next month, which I'm looking forward to attending that. And I'm definitely going to make sure that as many of my players from both teams, but especially the girls, are in attendance, because I want them to see like this is an attainable level for you. And then after that, it's kind of like take your chance, take your shot. But overall, like I know from what I've heard, Chicago's actually doing a pretty good job. Houston does a great job. Utah does a good job. Seattle does a great job.
Seattle does an amazing job. Yeah.
I guess Atlanta does a pretty good show, although their team's pretty terrible.
Yeah,
and I think DC's in the same spot over and over again now too, which is great. So yeah, there's good teams that are doing good things for match days, which are attracting eyes, and that only helps the product. So that's great.
Also, shout out to the Free Jacks fans who went to Seattle and Hazard for the boys. Like I put it this way, I can imagine what it's like. So we had a band. I played Division III football, right? And we actually had a band, and they were bad. It was like a 20-piece, and they were like added to. It was bad. But after every touchdown they scored, they played our
the fight song.
The fight song.
Yep.
And after a while, you kind of got to like associating with good things. So I would hear it somewhere else and be like, whatever at an event, and be like, oh, we scored a touchdown. Like, it was cool. I can only imagine the players like with the huzzas, like they like. I wonder if they do that to themselves, like huzzah, like just to wonder how that
hey, fellas, huzzah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. Whip around for this past weekend. Sabercats beat Old Glory. Jackals lost again to NOLA. New York beat Atlanta, but and that's I think that did it for them. They're secure in their spot. Hounds finally won one. Hounds have been struggling like mightily bad, and Warriors and I needed that win, unfortunately, and they couldn't do it.
I gotta stop right here and point out though, big fucking clangers on Chris Matina hitting that last minute.
Yeah, the conversion. Yep.
Right to win it.
Dude.
Like for big spot. Yeah. Well done.
Nobody was there to make fun of his bald spot. That's why.
Yeah. Look, I chirp the hell out of him when I see him live. No question about it. But love the guy, and that's why. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very good. Very good. And then if unfortunately Man, Toronto's. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do, man. That they just keep putting up crooked numbers, getting crooked numbers put up against them. It's pretty bad.
On the chat we have with a bunch of MLR fans,
Yeah.
there's been some consternation about some of the teams, and among them being Toronto, who was good a couple years ago. And I had to, you know me, I had to like physically stop my thumbs from typing out, well, all your best players are on the Free Jacks now. And
Couple of
like,
them are, yeah.
that not go over well. So I'm just gonna put that one away.
Keep that tucked away for just a little bit longer there, Chief.
Yeah, so I'll put that here because nobody on that chat will listen to it here.
Very unlikely. Yeah.
Bill, don't you dare.
Oh yeah, fuck you, dude. We do have we have lineups for the Blues and Crusaders.
Oh, do we now?
Semi. We can tell you. Okay, so same front row, same pack overall. You want? Yep, 1 through 8. Christy Barrett. Yeah, Clark's the only change I see, which is, I mean, the change for the better. Right. Nothing against AJ Lamb.
No.
For let's see, Crusaders. Yeah, strange. Oh, dude, freaking what's his butt? Blackadder having to come off after being subbed. I was like, oh no. Oh, he is definitely their best back rower, and that sucks because really he probably does. Like he's a bit of a Swiss Army knife and a bit of a jack of all trades and master of none, but he does probably merit a spot on the All Black squad. So whether or not he gets a lot of playing time at the World Cup, I don't know, but he is really good. Like I thought he was one of their better players last year in a really bad season. So says a lot about his character at the very least. Yeah, I don't see yeah, not good. And he's out again. Fuck, that sucks. That really sucks. Backline's the same.
Yeah,
makes almost sense. The same exact starting 15, I think.
It seems similar.
Yeah, I don't see anything different.
I didn't memorize the last one, but it looks.
Yeah, I'm not spotting a change. Doesn't mean there isn't one, but
right.
In terms of how they started. But yeah, ouch. Oh, man, yeah. I feel for Blackadder. I think he's a really good player and just having a really shitty year in terms of injury. That sucks. Let's see.
Do not disagree.
We're actually not as late as we usually are here, so
right. No,
I don't think we're gonna get the other ones either. Nope.
we're 2 hours easily from the.
Yeah, we're way off now.
Yeah,
this is what happens when we don't have to talk about. Oh, maybe it's better that we just shut up. Cool. All right. So there's that. We will dive more into World Cup teams next week because we only have 2 matches to talk about, plus whatever happens with the Free Jacks. Yeah, and then we'll figure out EP 200 stuff and all that shit. So keep your eyes peeled and ears open for that stuff.
We have one more thing to do because we don't have the fantasy.
Oh, the pick of them. I knew I had some. I just had it pulled up and I was stupid. There we go. Thank you. Okay, Crusaders Blues.
I was looking at it. Yeah. I haven't. I did not. I didn't even really think about this. Is a nightmare of a pick 'em. And I'm going to go Blues because ultimately I think they're the better team. I don't think the Crusaders are that good this year.
I think the fact that it's in Christchurch is the only thing that's going to convince me to pick the Crusaders. If this was in Auckland, I would pick the Blues.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think the Blues are good enough to pick them off there at home.
They may, and I won't be shocked. Chiefs Brumbies, fucking hell. I don't think the Brumbies were super spectacular last week, and they probably should have lost. So, and your guys already had their spook. So
I feel like exactly. And I think the Brumbies played their best last week, and the Chiefs, that was probably their worst performance from their top side this year.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, Brumbies played up, Chiefs played down. I think there's going to be some rockets up bums, and they got to set it straight because it's even if
Clayton McMillan is all over them this week.
Exactly. No, like even if they play they can't play like this and win a championship. They can't play like that and win a championship, but they can play better. So, yeah, like you said, McMillan will get them straight.
Yep.
Chiefs.
Unquestionably. Cool. Okay. There we are. That's that. fantasy rugby podcast at gmail.com for any questions and concerns and,
why is it only
general feedback.
Why is it only Wednesday? It's going to be Thursday. I want to wake up to Crusaders Blues. I can't. I'm looking forward to waking up to Crusaders.
I am too. Well, the fact that I don't have a match Friday is really actually good for me. I'm actually like, we have practice and stuff, and that'll be kit day as well. But then I'll be very excited about that. But yeah, I am looking forward to be able to kind of just be low key for most of the morning after work, and settle in for that for a little bit until I start to get nervous, because, dude, I hate being on this side of this. Can I just say that? Like, me and Eric, like, we're just like, I fucking hate being on this side of it. Like, we, no doubt, as you probably do as well, enjoy the hell out of coaching. But god damn it is so much easier to be on the other side of it and playing. Like, I hate it. I was like, like the end of, like, I don't know if you watched the match yet that I sent you, but man, the end of it, like, it took years off my life from the semifinal from last week. Like, oh my god. And me and Eric just sat on the turf like afterwards, and we're like, I'm tired. And I didn't play. Oh man.
See, I haven't coached in a playoff situation yet.
Oh, just not wait. That it sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks. It really does. Like, it is so annoying.
Technically, I guess I have. It's just been I should say it's been a while. I'd have with Boston Women and with Beantown, but I wasn't really the head coach at that point. Right. And at that point, I was like, this team's not well coached enough to win. So what do I give a fuck? So
you were like, whatever, yeah. Like when you have a team that can do it, but you're just like, oh man, it's just, they just got to get it done, and it's out of your hands. That's the worst part. Like, you can't do anything about it. It's like, nope, I've done all my shit beforehand, that you can make small adjustments and give a kid a knock in the head as a reminder, like, hey, you need to do this just a little bit better. But that's really all you can control. Everything else is up to them. And whether or not they remember that little reminder is a different story. So much as I love my players, but oh man, yeah. So if last Wednesday took years off my life, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen Saturday, but yeah, all bets are off at that point. We'll see. Anywho. Fantasy rugby podcast at gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, all that good shit. We'll be back here next week talking World Cup squads, because I'm sure we'll see more specified ones, but there's been plenty been released, and there's plenty of talking points even without anything being finalized. All Black squad has been released this week as well, I think, for the first time, but that's still probably going to be finalized as well.
Yeah, that's not right. Like, even the England squad, like,
oh yeah, that's a 28 player squad, of which like 13 of them probably aren't going to see the light of day. So
exactly.
Yeah, right. But yeah, we'll talk that. We'll talk semifinal. We'll look forward to the final. We'll talk the final regular season game for the Free Jacks and how that looks and what that means. And then obviously look forward to the semifinal for the two conferences in MLR, because although Free Jacks won't be involved with that, but just the point, just the same. So we'll get plenty in next week, but we do appreciate you all for hanging out, listening to us, and of course the feedback that we've gotten is just absolutely wonderful, and we appreciate it very, very much. We will catch you all next week. Enjoy the big rugby going on this weekend, and have a good one.
Later.
Cheers.